Hi, Chuck Vosburgh here from NextHome. Interesting question came up that was, what about Zillow and what about the other online resources and their pricing? And that's a really common question, and I'd like to answer that. Now, some realtors hate Zillow. I don't. It's a good resource, and we have to keep in mind that Zillow plus all the others, of course, Zillow being by far the largest, they're advertising sites, and they do a really good job with the resources that they have. When they're arriving at a price, they use what's called the automated valuation method. And what that means is they'll take a radius of the subject property, see what's sold around it, and come up with an average, apply the square feet of the house, and then that's how they arrive at a price. And that's a method of doing it, and that's the best that they can do. But what it doesn't do is take into account the condition of the house because, of course, they're not able to see the house. And they also don't know about microgeographic differences in the area. Like, for example, probably wherever you live, there's places where one side of the street is worth a lot more than the other side of the street. And those are just little things that are common to areas. And of course, the online websites don't know about those things. There's no way they could. You can't expect them to. So they don't have that information available. So that's where we come in, because we do know about these differences on one side of the street and the other, and we know about the condition of the surrounding properties and also what the conditions were of how they sold, whether or not maybe they had a distressed sale or something like that. We take all that into account. So we have a lot more information to work with than the online services have available to them. And that's how we come about a price. It's a lot more comprehensive and a lot more complicated method for realtors to use. But what it does is gives you the real value of the house on that day, because there are two things also that come into play. There's supply and demand, and also the competition. So if your house is the only house in the neighborhood that's for sale and you want to live in that neighborhood, it's going to be worth more. If there's 10 houses for sale in that neighborhood and they're all competing for a buyer, then the house is worth less. And those are things that change on a day-to-day basis. And of course, the online websites are not able to keep up with that sort of thing. They just can't. So your realtor is going to be able to give you a lot better valuation of the house so that you can make an informed decision about how much to sell for or how much to offer when you're buying the house. Of course, Pat and I have some additional training in this area. Very few realtors are pricing strategy advisors, and that's some additional training and testing that you have to pass to get that certification to prove that you have advanced knowledge in this area. So, of course, when it's time to sell or buy a house, I hope you call Pat and I. My number is 727-743-1740, and Pat is 813-220-4898. I hope this is helpful to you. If you have questions, send them over to me. I'll be happy to answer them. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.